Clear thinking sounds simple, but most people never practice it. We assume clarity comes naturally. We believe that if an idea feels familiar, then it must be understood. Richard Feynman showed why this assumption is dangerous. Most people walk through life carrying ideas they have never tested. They recognize the words and repeat explanations they have heard before. This creates confidence, but not understanding. The mind is easily fooled by familiarity. When something sounds right, we stop questioning it. Understanding must be proven, not assumed. An idea is not yours just because you can repeat it. It becomes yours only when you can rebuild it from the ground up, using clear language and sound reasoning. If you cannot do this, the understanding is only borrowed. This approach replaces illusion with clarity and confidence with proof. It explains why clear thinking is rare and why it matters more than talent or intelligence. Clear thinking begins when you stop trusting feelings and start checking what you really know. Many people believe they understand an idea simply because they recognize the words used to describe it. The terms sound familiar. The explanation feels smooth. The mind relaxes, and a false sense of clarity appears. The brain often mistakes ease for understanding. When information flows easily, the mind assumes it is correct. But ease does not equal accuracy. You can repeat a sentence perfectly and still have no idea what it means. Labels and technical language often hide confusion rather than remove it. When people rely on borrowed terms, they stop thinking. The words do the work for them. Clarity begins by stripping these layers away and asking a simple question. Can you explain the idea without using the original language? If not, the understanding is incomplete. This step is uncomfortable because it removes protection. You can no longer hide behind familiar phrases. You gain clarity when you stop hiding behind words and face. What you actually understand. The first step toward clarity is deceptively simple. Take a blank page and write the idea in your own words. Use basic language, short sentences, clear meaning. Complexity often signals confusion. When an idea is truly understood, it can be stated plainly. Simple language reduces mental strain and exposes gaps that complex phrasing can hide. Writing forces honesty. An empty page leaves no place to pretend. Each sentence shows exactly what you understand and where your thinking breaks down. Writing slows the mind and makes reasoning visible. When you replace technical terms with everyday words, you test the structure of the idea. If the explanation collapses, the problem is not language. The problem is understanding. This is not about dumbing ideas down. It is about making them real. You gain control of your thoughts when every idea must pass through simple language. Once you try to explain an idea simply, gaps appear. Certain steps feel vague. Some connections are missing. Parts of the explanation stall or fall apart. These moments are valuable signals. A gap is not a failure. It shows exactly where learning must continue. Instead of ignoring confusion, return to the source. Study what is missing, then rebuild the explanation from scratch. Each cycle removes more uncertainty. This process prevents shallow learning. It stops the mind from skipping unclear sections. Over time, explanations become smoother, stronger, and more accurate. Honesty is essential. You must admit what you do not know. Each corrected gap strengthens the structure of the idea and improves long-term recall. Teaching is the ultimate test of understanding. When you teach, the idea must work from start to finish. There is no place to hide. Teaching exposes weak logic and missing steps. It reveals whether your language is clear or still dependent on jargon. Explaining an idea strengthens mastery. You do not need a classroom. You can teach an imaginary student. You can explain it out loud or on paper. What matters is that the explanation flows logically and uses simple language. Teaching forces structure. Ideas must be ordered. Each step must follow the last. When the explanation works, the idea becomes stable. Teaching proves that understanding is real, not imagined. After teaching, refinement begins. Confusion often comes from excess. Too many details, exceptions, or unnecessary parts. The goal is not to remove accuracy, but clutter. Every part of an explanation should serve understanding. If it does not help, it should be removed. When two explanations work equally well, the simpler one is better. Simplicity strengthens structure and makes ideas easier to test and remember. By trimming complexity, the core idea becomes visible. Understanding shifts from fragile to strong. An explanation becomes powerful when every piece is simple, necessary, and clear. Simplicity is valued because it reveals truth. A simple explanation shows the main forces at work. It exposes structure and logic that complex language often hides. The best models explain many observations with few assumptions. They are short, direct, and testable. When explanations grow too complex, they become hard to check against reality. Simplicity allows ideas to be challenged. It makes errors visible and invites testing rather than belief. It strengthens an idea's connection to reality. Simplicity is not decoration. It is the most reliable path to truth. This method is effective, but uncomfortable. It exposes weak understanding, and the mind resists that exposure. Familiar words feel safe. Repetition feels productive. These habits create false confidence. Overconfidence and mental ease reinforce avoidance. Avoiding clarity limits growth. When ideas are no longer checked, learning stalls. Comfort replaces curiosity. Clear thinking requires effort and honesty. It forces you to admit ignorance and correct it. Many avoid this because it challenges confidence and identity. But avoidance has a cost. Understanding stays shallow and fragile. Real understanding begins when you stop protecting comfort and start checking what you truly know. Each step of this method forces active engagement. Writing clarifies. Finding gaps sharpens logic. Teaching organizes structure. Simplifying reveals meaning. Together, these steps rebuild ideas until they stand on strong foundations. This strengthens memory and reasoning. Shallow learning relies on recognition. Deep learning relies on reconstruction. Rebuilding ideas creates confidence based on proof, not familiarity. Deep knowledge grows when an idea is rebuilt until it rests on simple, strong foundations. This method works in any field: science, business, law, learning, or daily life. The subject does not matter. The structure does. Any idea can be tested through simple language. Write it out. Find gaps. Teach it. Simplify it. This turns clear thinking into a skill, not a talent. With practice, the process becomes automatic. New ideas are approached with structure instead of guesswork. You gain power in any field by using one clear method to understand everything. Clear thinking improves with repetition. Small daily practice builds long-term clarity. Take one idea each day and explain it simply. Check gaps and refine the explanation. Over time, the mind learns to slow down and verify understanding. Habits reduce effort. What once felt difficult becomes natural. Clear thinking grows through steady practice, not sudden insight. This method works because it forces active reasoning. It replaces passive reading with construction and confidence with proof. Complex ideas become simple structures. Gaps are exposed and corrected. Memory strengthens. Logic becomes clear. Clear understanding comes from simple language, honest thinking, and steady practice.